Hey everyone, Gavin Lance Top here. I'm here with Anthony, an absolute champion, a legend from Alice Springs in the middle of Australia. Welcome, mate.
Thanks, Gav. How are you?
Fantastic. And mate, you're coming to the end of the 12-month mentorship, mate. I thought I'd just ask you a few questions. And for you guys that are watching the recording, let me know. I want to know how many people are following up and watching these recordings. So, and where you're actually listening from would help heaps. But mate, tell us before, what was life like, I suppose, before you got involved in the Man Alive experience?
That's a big question, Gav.
Yeah,
Mate, 12 months ago, when I first reached out to you, I was lost. Honestly, I was lost. I
yeah,
was in the midst of a breakup.
yeah,
Uh, I had softened as a person, as a man.
yeah,
I'd grown very domestic,
yeah,
and I honestly, I didn't know where to go, and I didn't know, where to look or who to talk to.
yeah,
Right? And then I got introduced to you
yeah.
and the amazing things that, you and the men in the Man Alive experience were doing.
And I remember, I remember Lloyd J. Ross, absolute legend, said, "Man, I got this guy, man. He would just benefit massively from what you do." I remember, oh, great. Who's this Anthony guy? So, mate, it was just an honor and a privilege. And just, I remember when I first spoke to you, you seemed very like, man, I got to get moving here. You know, you got some amazing kids. You're in an amazing part of the world. So, where you can have massive impact. So, mate, you really got my attention. I thought, if we can get this guy on mission, man, he's a world changer. And it's so I suppose what did I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself, man, because you've got an amazing, what I would say an amazing comeback story. Like you say, from being lost. But mate, what was the thing that kind of got you to go, all right, I'm in? Do you remember what it was?
Well, I can just remember thinking, Gav, that, you know, I knew something was missing, and there
Yeah,
was a gap. There was a gap within me that I didn't know what to fill it with, or I didn't know if I should fill it.
yeah,
And I knew that I wasn't going in the direction that I wanted to for my kids and for myself. And uh, once I'd spoken to you and you'd explained the program to me, I I remember a light bulb just going off and going, "Hey, this is a man I can learn from."
yeah,
Right? And I've never been one to sit back and go, oh, "Okay, that's wrong, just leave it." So I've always once once you get that poke in the chest, or once somebody identifies something, I've always looked to learn and fix and grow. And so, once I spoke to you about the program, and it was like finding that missing piece of the puzzle
yeah,
and what I needed at the time. And the last 12 months has just been insane in terms of
yeah.
my growth and my development.
Yeah, and I suppose, mate, because that's the thing. Let's grow. We've got to grow. If we're not growing, we're dying. So, I mean, like there's a range of different things we could talk about, but I mean, what's been I suppose, some highlights throughout the last 12 months, with the Zoom calls that we do, with the program that we follow, in Kajabi, is it the men? I mean, what's been some highlights throughout the process?
That's a big question, Gav, because each piece of the puzzle, each part has its purpose,
Yeah,
right? The learning, the Kajabi, the videos, and learning piece by piece are in terms of the program, but then having access to a group of amazing men
yeah,
that are at different stages of their journey.
yeah,
So what I found in that is that, you know, 3 months, 6 months in, I was able to help men that maybe 20 or 30 years older than me,
Yeah.
based on the content of the program and based on what the men that were no longer in the program, what they'd been able to pass on to me.
Yeah.
I, I think when you talk about highlights, I think about a group session. We had the breakout rooms, and um and the men at the time were talking about our dreams, right?
Yeah.
And look and how we're going to achieve our dreams. And the men at the time, they went, "No, do it now,
Yeah.
do it now,"
Yeah.
right? And and they just leapt into action. They just
Yeah.
leapt into action, and we were just being on the right vibration with
Yeah.
men that are on the same vibration as you. Just lifts everybody.
Yeah.
And that's what I found. Yeah, that's my biggest takeaway is that operating on that vibration and being a part of a group of men who want better for you and you want better for them.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
and I suppose, mate, like because I mean, I remember when you started, you were juggling a few different balls. I mean, obviously you had your children, you're working through that, having your kids and stuff, and mate, I don't know if I've ever told you this, or I think I have, but mate, you're a great dad. Watching you with your kids, your heart for your kids, mate, is just awesome. And I know, from your journey growing up, mate, you've just up the bar, haven't you? You're a great dad, mate. You're a great father. So, and now and you've developed a business as well that's aligned with your purpose, which is just that's the dream for me. So, I mean, how have you gone with that? I suppose transition, being a dad, and then obviously starting this business, and how's that gone?
Look, where I was 12 months ago, I didn't know if it was going to work. I didn't
Yeah,
know if it was going to happen.
yeah.
And to be able to now, well, I knew that helping people was my purpose. It comes naturally to me.
Yeah,
But you can't help everybody else if you're not helping yourself.
yeah, yeah,
You can't help anybody else if you're not helping
mm,
yourself. And so what I was able to do in that, and I appreciate that, like that makes me a little bit emotional, Gav, because not everybody recognizes when you're being a good father or when you're being a good person. Um, so thank you for that, because what this program's given me is the opportunity to spend time with my kids in a
yeah,
purposeful way, right? In a way that they're going to remember, in a way that they learn and grow as people, because we've been able to instill those morals on them. And that, I'm only 35, they're
yeah,
13, 11, and 5, right?
yeah,
So being able to, my son's 11, being able to impart these lessons to him now in terms of living a life of purpose and adventure and and have a strong moral compass, that means that you know that one, he's going to be able to be welcomed by people, but two, uh, be able to be a man and stand his ground where he needs to. It is something that me and I, I've got a stepfather, great man,
yeah,
but without that constant father figure in my life, I wasn't able to continue that journey as he will be able to. You know,
yeah,
and that's just a testament to the great work that you do. Like
yeah. And I
it's
mean,
big.
I know there's been a couple of times where I've heard you speak about your grandfather, and when we talk about legacy, and man, that's I think a great thing that we can remind our children as well of the legacy that has been passed down, because we're all going to pass something. But I suppose what I've
Yeah,
seen in you is you're becoming clearer and clearer and clearer in actually what you want to pass down, and you're doing it. Like you mentioned, you know where this has taken you, and like, man, tell everyone what you're doing. I remember Cheetah.
It
Jason
was
Cheatley,
cheetah.
another man alive. Encourage you to follow your dreams. And mate,
Yeah.
tell everyone what you're doing.
Well, in March this year, we had that breakout room, like I said, and I said, what are one of the things that you just think is impossible, right? The
Yeah,
dream's so far-fetched that you feel like it's out of reach. And I said, I want to see the mountain. And I said, what
yeah,
mountain? I said, Mount Everest. And they went, what? And the the group went quiet for a minute, and Cheetah goes, do it this year. And I
yeah,
went, what? He goes, do it this year.
yeah,
And I got off the call, and it was about a week to the day later, and I went, no, I'm going to do it,
yeah,
right? Because they were on the computer going, let's, how much a flight just went into solution mode, like as most of us do. And I sat back and I thought about it and went, no, I'm going to do it. Right?
yeah.
I'm going to do it. So I'm on this Friday, I'm actually getting on a plane to go to Nepal,
Come
and
on.
I'm walking to base camp. I'm walking to base camp.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing, and that's and I think a big part. Well, for me, a big part of the man alive experiences is making dreams come true. The definition of a dream is the deep desire, and if Everest is in your heart, the mountain, you better run to the mountain. And you're doing it, mate. You leave Friday. So it's just awesome. Mate, I'm so proud of you because that's courage right there. You know, because I know when we did that, it was like, remember, the one of the dream test questions is, do I know how to do it? And if you know how to do it, well, you're not thinking big enough.
No,
But you do the
no.
next right thing in front of you, and that's what you've done. And mate, you're on a plane in
Yep.
3 days.
Yeah. Yep. Which is insane to think about, because I've been thinking about, right, is what a lot of us do. Yeah, we sit back and go, oh, that would be nice, or that would be
Yeah.
beautiful to look at,
How
or
long? How long have you
that
had
would challenge
that
me.
dream in your heart to go to Everest?
That'll be at least 15 years.
Yeah,
At least 15 years. At least since I was about 20 years old, right?
yeah,
And it's always just seemed so far-fetched, so unachievable.
yeah,
Who was I, right? Who was I to
mate.
think that I could go to Nepal and just, go and see this majestic
Yeah,
wonder, right?
yeah,
And 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 I think that says a lot about where my belief is at now compared
yeah,
to 12 months ago, let alone 15 years ago.
yeah,
It's a full 180 to where I
yeah.
was.
And if you're watching the recording, can we give this bloke a round of applause? Give him a clap. This takes courage to live your dream. But you say you had this dream maybe since you were 20 there, and you're 35. Maybe I would say maybe there's men that have had a dream or a similar dream since they were 20, and they could be 40, they could be 60, they could. So, mate, the idea, and this is for everyone who's watching, the idea is to live your dream. If you've got a dream in your heart, it's for a reason. But what I've found is when you start living these dreams, there's more dreams that get put in because mate, it's just the start, Anthony. It's
Oh, it
just the
is.
start, mate.
It is. I've mapped out my next 3 years, Gav, of
There
the
you
things that I
go.
want to see in the world, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and there and now compared to March this year,
yeah,
right? Now they're achievable.
yeah,
They were always
yeah,
achievable, but now I believe in myself in a
yeah.
way that means that I'm going to get it done.
And that's the idea. And I suppose when for everyone who's watching, and probably what I've seen the shift in you, mate, is like you say, that belief, that self-belief, but it comes down to your identity, who you are as a man, who you are, man.
Yep.
So you're growing, you're changing, you're developing. So there's going to be more in you, and you're ready. If not now, when? If not you, then who? Man, there's other mountains.
Yeah.
So, mate, it's exciting for me to watch. You're a great example to all the other men to have a dream and have the guts, the balls to put them on the line and put them on the
Oh,
plane.
Well, Gav, yeah, they say you're only as good as those that come before you, right?
Yeah,
And seeing that example
yeah,
by the men in this group in this program,
absolutely.
right, to be able to just have, like you said, have the balls to just go and do it, right, and
Yeah,
just get it done.
yeah,
There's no such thing as failures. There's only opportunities to learn and grow, and it's yeah, I've certainly had great examples over the last
yeah,
12 months.
yeah. So, mate, I suppose there's going to be men that are watching this. They're going to think, man, far out. This guy's living his dream, which you are. Yeah. What would you say to those men that are watching, that are listening?
Take action.
Yeah,
Take action. Take
yeah,
action because you know if if you don't take action, I read a quote today, Gab, and it
yeah,
said the worst place you can be in 12 months' time is where you are right now.
mm, yeah,
And the
yeah,
reality is that there are too many men out there where that's going to be the reality.
yeah,
So if
yeah.
any of the men in the group, watching this, don't be in the same place in 12 months.
No,
If you
no,
feel like there's something missing, right?
yeah,
If you're struggling to find the gap, have a chat with Gav.
yeah,
Ask a question on the group. Just
yeah,
don't take action. Don't stay in the same place because that's the worst thing you could do.
yeah. No, terrific,
Because in
mate.
12 months'
Awesome.
time, you're going to be scratching your head and wondering why you're still in the same place. And it's
Mm,
because you didn't take the action
yeah,
to do what needed to be done to improve
yeah,
you as a man.
yeah, yeah. It's great, mate. And it's always, isn't it? Like, I mean, it's a great metaphor. I think, Everest. You want to climb the Everest. Well, who do you need to become to climb it? And I suppose
Yep,
that's just like whatever the goal is, isn't it? Who do you need to become?
yep,
What's the right action today? I suppose that's what you're doing.
yep.
You every day, right action, right direction. You climb the mountain. Awesome,
Hopefully,
mate.
I'll
As
stay
I
on the
said,
path.
mate. Well, the thing is, what comes to my mind is you're doing things that your children will be proud of, mate. You're doing things that your entire family will be proud of. I think it's, mate. Mate, you are a legacy creator. You're creating something amazing. So
Yeah,
a boy from the Red Rock, mate, in the center of center of Australia, getting on a plane going to Everest, mate. That's something. I wouldn't imagine there's too many men in your town that are doing that sort of thing.
no, no, actually, I don't know anybody in Alice Springs, and I'm sure there are a few, right? But they're not within my circle, right? They're not in my
No.
inner circle, and I certainly, haven't come across them yet.
Yeah.
But it's certainly something that friends and family are talking about, and they're going,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just so far out,
Yeah.
from their mindset, it's just so far out there that they can't
Yeah.
believe it's actually happening.
And that's what real men do. They lead by the front, and that's what you're doing, mate. So it's bloody awesome, mate. So proud of you. So good. But mate,
Thanks,
last words. Anything you want to add to what we've said today to maybe encourage some people?
Ben. I think that, not I think, I know because I was in this position.
Yeah.
I kept things in. I didn't share. I didn't choose to speak to other men about what I was going through, about what I felt was missing, what you know, even the things that I wanted to achieve in my life. I didn't speak about it. I had this mindset of if I just keep it to myself
Mm.
and lone wolf it, then I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
And it got me nowhere. So I've said it before. The number one thing you can do, man, is take action. Right? You're no use to anybody. Your wife, your kids, your other family members. As Gav would say, there's more in you, right? And it's about taking action and bringing that out in you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, awesome, mate. Hey, listen, if you're watching and this is inspiring to you, leave us a comment. And I'm just thinking, mate, I think we might have to do a follow up after you get back from Everest.
Yeah, let's
Just
do
to
it.
make
Let's
sure,
do
let
it.
everyone know he
Yep.
made it back. But, mate, thank you so much,
Sounds good.
mate. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate your heart and just always looking out for others and just being who you are, mate. I really appreciate it.
I thank you,
All right.
Gav. I really appreciate you.
All right. Yeah. Over and out.
Yeah.